Hello, hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting. Good morning, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, just drop an emoji in the chat box. Okay, welcome. Okay, welcome, Erin. How are you doing? Drop your name in the chat box and tell us where you're joining from. Hi, Regan. Okay, hi, Alasdair. All the way from UK, yes. Okay. Okay, welcome. Welcome to today's webinar. Please, while you're joining, anywhere you're watching us from, make sure you are sharing the link to your friends to also join in that the session. Tell your friends that the session has begun. Yes, let's welcome everyone. Okay. Okay. Please drop your name in the chat box. Let's know where you're joining us from. That you're from Nigeria, UK, Canada, Finland. Let us know your name and where you're joining from. I can see Fola. Fola, tell us where you're joining from. Abdurrahman, Daniel, Itunu, Regan. Let's know where you're joining from. Somaya, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's webinar. Thank you. Welcome. Hi, Regan from Nigeria. So nice to have you here. Oh, hi, Folarin. How are you doing? Allow me. We're also live on YouTube, so do well to share this live link to your friends. Tell them that the session has started and they should join in. Oh, hi, Odosumi. Odusi. Yes, hi. Please tell us your name and where you're joining from. Hi, Abdurrahman from Nigeria. Irene from Nigeria. Welcome. Hi, Odusin. Daniel from Tokyo. All the way from Tokyo. Thank you. Okay, please can we all drop our favorite reactions? Let's all react to show that we are active. Let's react. Show your reaction, guys. To show that you're excited. Your emojis. Drop different type of emojis. Exactly. Yes, that's the energy. Exactly. Yeah, we're so excited. Let me see some excitement. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you join this July webinar. We are really, really excited. Thank you. Okay, so that's it. Keep dropping your emojis. Let's see your reactions, guys. Okay. Regan, can someone guess where this our speaker is coming from? Where he's calling from? Waki from Nigeria. Can we all guess where our speaker is calling from? Where he's streaming from? Can drop our guess in the chats. I'm waiting for your guess, guys. Iran. Okay. More guess. South Africa. Keep the guess coming in. I need more countries. Keep guessing, guys. Israel. Who knows? Okay, I can see. Keep dropping your guess. Scotland. Togo. Let's keep dropping our guesses in the chats. Germany. Oh, Algeria. I like that. UK. Okay. Space. No way. Okay, the section is about to kickstart properly now. So I'll be handing over to Regan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Regan, and I'm co-founder of the Cyber Crooners community. On behalf of the Cyber Crooners team, I'd like to warmly welcome every one of you to today's webinar. Thank you all for taking out time to join us. We are so excited to have you here. So today marks our 14th webinar section. And seriously, we are truly grateful for your support, your participation, your commitment, and learning. It has been an awesome journey, and we are excited to continue going together as a community. So quickly, here at the Cybercriminals community, our vision is very simple. Our vision is raising the next generation of cybersecurity professional across Africa. So every webinar, every workshop, every community engagement is a step towards achieving that vision. And we do that by equipping individuals with the knowledge, the skills they need to thrive in cybersecurity. So quickly, before we dive into today's section, I want to encourage every one of us to get our pen, our papers, our notepad ready, because this section is fully packed with so many insights, so many practical tips, and even lessons that you really might not even know that, oh, this exists. So don't just listen. I want you to also take notes, because you never really know which point could be the breakthrough you need in your cybersecurity journey. So I need you to stay engaged throughout the section. And also, if you have questions, there'll be a section for question and answer. So with that being said, let's get started.
Great. I think this is me. Hey everyone, can you hear me? Can you get some of those happy clappy emojis going? Oh, we love that. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Awesome. Guys, super excited to be here. My name's Alasdair. I'm going to be doing a set. Oh, look at all those reactions. I love that. I'm going to be doing a session today on.
Hi, Alasdair.
Hey, how you
Sorry, good evening. I was having some technical difficulty.
Oh,
I'm
that's
supposed
fine.
to take your introduction now.
Great.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session. My name is Ituno Ogundikpe, and I'll be taking the introduction of our guest speaker today. So, Alasdair Gornaik is a cybersecurity researcher specializing in web and application security. His work has led to the responsible disclosure of multiple high-impact vulnerabilities, earning him CVE credits and bug bouncings, with research acknowledged by organizations including Microsoft and NASA. His notable discoveries including the Microsoft Notepad remote code execution and Microsoft Power Apps remote code execution. Currently a penetration tester at Adversify, Alasdair is an active vulnerability researcher with a passion for uncovering real-world security flows. Beyond cybersecurity, he also built corporate partnerships for Emerge Advocacy, an NHS partnered charity supporting young people experiencing mental health crisis. Today, Alasdair will be joining us for the zeros and one of bug bounty, where we share practical insights into bug bounty hunting, vulnerability research, responsible disclosure, and how aspiring security professionals can carve a path in this exciting field. With a warm round of applause, let's welcome to the Cyber Crooner session, Alasdair Gornaik. Over to you, Alasdair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm blushing. Thanks for that. Jump the gun there. Cool. I'm going to try and share my screen, guys. So this could go well. Just let me know if you can see my presentation. I'm going to press play here. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Let's click share. Let's see. Hopefully this works. Let me know if you can see my presentation, guys. I'm going to try it. Ooh, open. Right, I've got to change my settings to allow myself to share my screen. So give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Okay, put my password in. You can tell I haven't used Zoom before. Okay. Okay. Slight technical hitch, guys. I'm gonna have to restart Zoom to be able to present because I'm changing the settings. So I will be right with you.
I need you all to stay still. Our speaker will be back very soon. Okay, so while we wait for our speaker, I want to ask the people that joined this our webinar for today. I need you to react basically. Are you in our community? Because I know that there are some people here that has not joined our community. So I need you to react. Are you in our community? Okay, I've seen 2 reactions. Okay, okay. So I'm pretty sure, okay, let me just talk more about the cyber criminal community. I'm pretty sure like most of us basically, you saw the flyers probably on your friend's status and you were like, oh, let me just register for this section. And I want to promise you, this section it's going to be amazing. Do you get? And the cyber criminal community, what we do is we train beginners. Do you get? If you probably have a passion for cybersecurity and you don't know where to start from, you are just confused, this community is for you. Do you understand? And it's very free. You can join. And also we have like cohorts, different section where we train people that are really want to like get a career in cybersecurity. So basically that's what we do. And also we also host like webinars every month. As I said earlier when I was doing my opening remark, I said something that this is our 14th webinar section. So I need you all to also anticipate the one for next month and the months to come. That's how we keep helping everyone in cybersecurity. This is a little we can do, but we are doing more. And also after this section, we still also need you to subscribe to our pages, our Instagram page, our X spaces, and all of that, so that you get to see the notification, you get to see our regular updates, and so that you don't miss out on probably our next cohorts and also our next webinar section.
Cool. Guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. But I think we're all ready to go. I'm going to try and share my screen again, if that's okay, guys. And then we'll just crack on. So let's do a round 2 here and see if we can do any better than last time. Let's see what we can do. Cool. Let's try this. So guys, let me know if you can see my presentation. Thank you. Great. Can you guys see my presentation? I'm going to click play now. Can you see that? Is that working for you? Feel free to put some...
Yes, we can.
You can see that. That's all full screen as well. Cool. Okay, guys, amazing. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, first time downloading Zoom. That's okay. I'm modern as well. So, guys, I want to talk today about the zeros and ones of bug bounty. So that's the title. I've been Daniel was really kind to me. Just we were having some good chats over Discord over the last few months, and just hearing about cyber crooners and what you guys are up to and the initiative that you guys have started. And I think it's really exciting, and I think it's great to come together as a community and find ways to encourage each other and give each other help in breaking into an industry which is notoriously difficult to break into. But the good news is it's a growing industry. Cybersecurity is on the rise across the board. That's offensive and defensive. And so I feel like bug bounty is a particularly interesting topic which can add a lot of value for people who want to try and break in, but perhaps don't have the space to be able to demonstrate that they can do the skills that the employer is looking for. And so my little subtitle here, turning vulnerability hunting into skills, credibility, and opportunity outside the traditional hiring route. And so we'll break into that a little bit more. So who am I? I had a wonderful introduction by some lovely lady a moment ago. So my name's Alasdair. I'm currently working as a pen tester at Diversify. Outside of that, I'm a dad, a husband. I've got a little boy. He's just under 2 now. I really enjoy the mountains. I live in quite a mountainous place in Scotland, in the UK. So I love getting out in the mountains. Faith seeker, so that's just, I'm a Christian and it's a big part of my life. And as I said, pen tester at Diversify. And then everything to do with bug bounties now, I do that on the side of what I do now. I will say though that that's kind of become more of the side since I became a pen tester. But before that, I was doing it a lot more. And actually, I feel like I'll go into that a bit later, but I actually played quite a big part in getting a role in cybersecurity, which was kind of my aim. So just a few of the things that a few of the sort of wins in bug bounty so far and CV hunting. So I got I think it might be 9 CVs assigned now. A few of those were remote code execution in Microsoft products, including probably the most well known is the Notepad remote code execution vulnerability, which I actually found alongside 2 other researchers at the time. So we're all jointly on that one. And then just to show you the potential of, or just to share a bit of my story in that, I've now managed to get a few 5-figure bug bounty payouts. That's in UK currency. I don't know what that would be in where everyone else is, but yeah. So that's kind of what I've been able to do so far. So why bug bounty? What's it about, and why should we care? So bug bounty, for those of you who don't know, is a relatively new concept that came up probably in the last decade. It's gained in popularity quite a lot. And essentially, what it gives companies an opportunity to do is to say, right, we're going to allow bug bounty hunters that are registered on a platform to come and try and hack our infrastructure. Okay, so me, anyone can sign up to these platforms, give a little bit of detail to show we're not just any old Joe, and then they say, okay, now you can try and hack this or this or this. And so what you find is most of these things that you're getting to hack are real targets, usually live targets, that is, other customers are interacting with this. And so what you do is you come along and you have an opportunity to live hack real infrastructure. And it's a really interesting thing, because when I pen test week to week, this is exactly what we do. But what happens is one company says, we want to employ this company to come and hack us for like a week, let's say, right? And so maybe myself or an employee, a colleague of mine, will go along to a job and we'll hack the website for like a week, and then we'll write a report and we're done, okay? The problem with traditional pen testing is that what can happen is 3 months later, they might do a massive update to the website and introduce new vulnerabilities that weren't caught in the pen test because they weren't there before. And so what bug bounty kind of aims to do for those companies is it bridges the gap. It's continuous year-round pen testing, as it were, for free, right? Because you're not paying everyone to hunt, you're only paying the people who find vulnerabilities. So there's a big incentive for companies to do it. Of course, there's the risk of you're opening yourself up to loads of people mass hacking your website at the same time. So you've got to have the infrastructure to support it. But there is nothing teaches offensive cybersecurity like hunting on a live scope. And I 100% agree. I've not found anything close to getting a real taste of hacking before you're employed to be a hacker, and it's legal, right? So it's a win-win. So of course, building skills, I've learned so much just from doing bug bounty before I was a pen tester. Reputation, gain credibility. As soon as you get a CVE and you get a little number and it's assigned to you, and they say this is you now, that's something you can put straight on your CV, not your CV, your CV. Don't get this confused. They can put it straight on LinkedIn. You can put it on the bottom of your resume, and it's proof that you actually know how to do what the employer later on may be wanting you to do. So it's really, really cool and interesting way of being able to get a foothold and kind of get a little push up on the resume before you get a job. And then again, it creates opportunity outside of the traditional route of just getting loads of certifications. Here's an example. If you've got 5 people in a room and they all want the pen test job, let's say, and all of them have the same certifications, but you've got 5 CVEs and maybe a few bug bounties. Well, then, okay, who are they going to? You're going to stand out. You're just going to stand out because they know you can do what you say you can do. I will also just mention at the bottom, offline CVE hunting, I believe, is more reliable. If you're just looking for something on your resume, offline CVE hunting is more reliable than bug bounty hunting. Okay, it's probably worth a talk on its own time, because the way to do offline CV hunting is legal as well, but you have to do it right. And I would perhaps say this is a talk for another time, but definitely something to explore as well if you're looking to boost your resume. Both are good for the resume, bug bounties and CVEs. All right, cool. So how to win? So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to quickly go through this, and then I kind of want to give you some real examples of vulnerabilities I've found. I want it to be a bit hands-on. I want to teach you guys some actual techniques that you can go away and actually start using today in your hacking. This isn't going to be these are all the techniques, this is everything you can hack with. I would advise you guys to go away from this and continue your learning. If you're looking to get into offensive security, the best thing you can do is understand techniques and then go try them out in the wild on bug bounty programs. There's nothing better than practice. There's no better practice than that. I will say though, before you go and do that, most bug bounty hunters bounce after one finding or none. Okay, so this is what we call program hopping. So people join a program on one of these platforms you can sign up to. So you might have heard of BugCrowd, is quite popular. HackerOne, also popular. There's another one I use called Integrity or Integrity. It's up and coming. It is up and coming. I've got a few findings on there. But what people end up doing is they think, oh, you know what? I want to hack T-Mobile. They choose the T-Mobile program, they find the website, they get their tools going, and they sit down and they hack away, and 4 hours passes and they found nothing. And they go, oh, you know what? I bet everyone's just found everything already. Look, 3,000 vulnerabilities reported on the program, it says. I'm sure they've all been found, right? So what do? They jump to another program. They go, right, I'm off to hack NASA. Let's hack NASA. NASA, come on, there's got to be something there. And then they do it again. And then oh, but there's thousands of vulnerabilities. Must be. And so what I find the best bug bounty hunters, they don't do that. They pick a program and then they stick with it for months. And honestly, guys, there will be months where you will be hunting daily on a program using techniques you've learned, and you won't find anything. And you might think there's nothing here. I promise you guys, there's always things to find. There's always vulnerabilities. Every website right now has a vulnerability. Every program on Bug Bounty, on BugCrowd or HackerOne has a vulnerability. It's up to you to stay consistent and keep looking and don't stop, because I promise you, you will find it if you stick with the program. Understanding how the application works in depth is far more helpful than a basic overview of multiple programs. Okay, so just don't be a hopper. Don't be a hopper. That's my and so here's my Microsoft grind, guys. Microsoft, they have a bug bounty program. They offer at the moment up to $250,000 for the highest severity. Again, you know, maybe one expert finds one of those a year, maybe one or two people find those a year. Most people, myself included, send a report and it gets prioritized as a low severity or maybe a medium. They don't pay for those, right? So I will say to start with, don't start with Microsoft. It's not encouraging. I didn't start with Microsoft, guys. I did BugCrowd for a year, and then I moved over once I learned some things. But when I did start with Microsoft, I submitted it was something like 13 different vulnerabilities that I found until my first payout. Yeah. So March 2024, that's my first submitted report. End of 2025, December was my first payout. And so if I just left Microsoft after kind of 6 months even, or maybe a month, let's just say, I never would have got the payouts that I found now. And as I say, the best ones have been through Microsoft, but it's been because of persistence, I believe, and maybe a little bit of luck as well. I don't know. Continuing to look at the same program, it wins always. And then I probably just little thing extra to say is do it for fun. If you don't love hacking, you won't stay in the game. If you don't love hacking, you probably don't want to get into pen testing anyway, but you've got to follow the passion. Keep going, the results show up later. They do, but you've got to keep going. All right, that's enough kind of too deep stuff, I guess. Don't want to go too deep. I want to jump into the vulnerabilities so you guys can write something down. Maybe you take some notes already. Cool. So getting started, build the skills, right? I will say this before I did any hacking on any bug bounty program, I built some skills first. Otherwise, you're just jumping on a website and you're like, oh, I love to hack. I love the idea of hacking. Signs up, jumps on a website. No idea, right? You've got to start with the basics. We've got to learn to walk before we can run, right? Hack the Box Academy is a platform that I've used a lot. It does cost a little bit of money, I think. There are student discounts, but Hack the Box Academy, I probably learned the most when I was getting started. I used to recommend Try Hack Me. I don't love the ethics of the founder right now. That's just my own personal opinion, guys. I also did learn some basics on the way from Try Hack Me, so do what you will. Hack Smarter Labs is relatively new. I actually, full disclosure, I do weekly sessions in Hack Smarter. We do weekly goals sessions, and so I usually host them. So I guess you could say I have vested interest. Then I'm not paid by them. But it's a great community again of like-minded cybersecurity individuals. Hack Smarter Labs has a lot of good beginner labs now. When they started, they didn't. Now they do. I would recommend them. They're really, really cheap compared to some of the other options around. So Hack Smarter Labs, they've even got free stuff as well and free courses. So definitely worth having a look there. And then if you're kind of here and you're like, I already know, I actually already know the OWASP top 10. I know the OWASP AI top 10 maybe. Haha, that's a new one. And I do this all the time. What else can I do? Portswigger Web Security Academy is next to none in terms of advancing your web application hacking skills. So Portswigger, if that's not a name you've heard before, write that down if you're kind of looking for the next jump up on slightly more advanced techniques for web hacking. And that will pay off definitely for bug bounty. Guys, next thing down is collaborate. Yeah, we've got amazing community here. I mean, I didn't even know about the cyber crooners till I started getting in touch with Daniel, or Daniel got in touch with me. And guys, what an amazing community! Work together, okay? Bug Crowd makes it easy. If you have a friend, and then you find the initial, let's just say you find the initial way in, and then he finds or she finds the next step to pull customer data. Okay, fine. 50-50? I don't know. Work it out yourself. But on Bug Crowd, you can say, I collaborated with this researcher and we decided to go 60-40. It's that simple. And then you submit your vulnerability. And then if it's, say, $100 payout, one person gets $60, one person gets 40. Do you know what I mean? Or 50-50 or whatever, but decide it yourself. But there's no reason not to collaborate with people when Bug Crowd make it that easy for you to fairly get the reward for the effort that you've put in. And again, these are all good things to put on your resume as well. Okay, so AI. Quick one on AI, and then I'll jump into, let's just see. Yeah, quick one on AI, tell you not what to do, and then we'll jump into vulnerabilities. Are you guys still with me and not falling asleep? Give me some reactions in the chat if you're still alive and here. There we go, we got a few. Okay, amazing. Amazing, cool. I'll try and speed up a wee bit because I don't want to keep you guys. So AI, use AI as a tool, not a crutch, okay? So AI is a bit of a funny one. Some people think AI is the end of bug bounty or hacking or whatever. They think, well, if I'm not going to AI, I won't be able to. Other people go, oh, well, I'm not going to learn anything if I use AI. Or it gives me fake results. What I would say, guys, is don't rely on AI for your knowledge, right? I find the best pen testers and bug bounty hunters now, they have the knowledge backed up with the AI, and then you can ask the right questions, right? So a JS file, like a JavaScript file, if you saw a JavaScript file in a normal, no AI existed, would you know what to do with it? Yes, no, okay, yes. Okay, so then I know, okay, as a bug bounty hunter, I'm like, okay, a JavaScript file might have a load of secrets in it, right? So the developer might have accidentally left an API key. And maybe that API key is meant to be there, maybe it's not. And then maybe there's like an email in there that wasn't going to be there. Or I found on pen tests, I found username and password left inside a JavaScript file live on a website, right? But the thing is, some of these JavaScript files, for instance, might be like 10, 50,000 words or something. It's massive, right? So copy a chunk and pop it into AI and say, well, look, is there anything here? Have I missed anything? Right? That's an easy, simple way of getting a quick win from AI, because you might not notice it. JavaScript files are really hard to read. So it might even say, oh yeah, well, I didn't find anything, but I did find this endpoint. What's an endpoint? A URL. And this URL is meant to let the admin do this task. And you think, oh, okay, maybe I can chain that with that thing I saw earlier. So do use AI, guys. Don't just be like, here's my website, Claude. Hack it for me. That doesn't work. Use it to assist what you already know to speed up your recon. Really, really, really helpful, and AI is only getting better. So don't let it pass you by. Do use it, but don't rely on it only. All right, cool. So quick, what not to do. I'll tell you very quickly, and then we'll jump straight into the case studies, things that I found and hacked in the past. So number one rule I would say with bug bounties is don't report hypotheticals. The amount of people that report hypothetical, oh, I found this thing and it should be vulnerable to this CVE according to this database. If you can't prove it or do it yourself, they will just say no. They'll say no. You find it and you can't prove it, you say, well done me, pat on the back. I found something, okay? Can I report it to bug bounty? No. But still, well on me. I'm using it as a little marker of I did something and I found something. That's great. It's not for bug bounty. It's hypothetical. Okay. So make sure you can demonstrate the vulnerability that you're saying you're doing, because bug bounty programs are getting overwhelmed with like hypotheticals or like AI slop things, and we don't want that. Don't be part of the problem. And then again, I said don't ship AI slop. So if you don't understand what the AI says when it comes back, probably not there. It's probably not real. Make sure you document everything that you do. Write out your processes. Even if it doesn't come off as a bug bounty, you can still use it for LinkedIn, right? Remember, we're trying to get a job in pen testing here. We're trying to show a potential employer, for instance, that we have the skills to do what they want. So document the process. People love that, and it'll build your brand. All right, that's enough waffle. Let's go for a case study, okay? All right. Okay, so guys, first off, I've got a lot of bug bounties and CVs, or more bug bounties and CVs that I could perhaps talk about. I want to give you guys something you can take away to actually start hacking with, and I thought I'd go with something that was relatively more simple to start with, and then lead on to something that's a little bit more complicated that you can also use. So, okay, so first one, blockchain.com. Okay, so this was I think it was on the Bugcrowd platform. Blockchain.com is a cryptocurrency platform. They are responsible for a lot of the big cryptocurrencies and helping people manage them well. I'm sure you guys have heard of blockchain before. It's pretty big. I think it might even be a BTC, a currency in itself, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so this is something called a PII leak. Does anyone know what a PII leak is? Any reaction? I'm getting a nod there from oh no, I'm going to ruin your name. I'm so sorry. Hold on, I'm going to try. Esobaba? Yes, let's go. Come on, guys. I lived in South Africa for like a year. You know, surely that should give me a one up. I had to lead worship at a church in 5 different languages one time. It was mad. Anyway, but that's cool. So PII. So if you don't know, guys, PII is personal identifiable information. Okay, so think email addresses, think home addresses, think telephone numbers, think maybe even financials like credit cards. Think anything that's personally identifiable to you could be PII leak. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. Okay, so first up, I was poking around the website. I'm not going to say I haven't got live screenshots from the actual thing because I wasn't really sure if I can share them. But also the website's completely changed since it has been patched, so it's within responsible disclosure. But I didn't want to share direct details directly from the actual write-up itself. So what I did was I was looking around the website, poking around, and this is what you do. You do recon, right? You look around the website, you say, well, what does this do? What does this do? Well, I'm not hacking anything. I'm not hacking a thing. I'm just using it like a normal user. And so I was going along and I noticed this thing called a blog. So I was like, okay, blogs, they're always interesting. Click. And I got this like pop-up and it was like, well, this content's not available in your region. And I thought, oh, that's weird. Why can't I read a blog if I'm in the UK? Very weird. But it made me think very quickly. It made me think, okay, this is probably going to be some place that a lot of people haven't got to, because there's a lot of bug hunters in the UK. And from what I could understand, I think it was a European blog. So I thought, well, if less hunters have poked around here, it might be worth my time. It might just be that there's something they've missed, maybe. So that's where we started. So does anyone know what the Tor browser is next? Does anyone know the Tor browser? Yeah, I'm getting another nod. I'm getting a thumb up. Okay, so if you don't know, Tor browser is just a think of it like a browser with a built-in VPN. Okay, and so I could have just used a normal VPN, but I don't want to pay for a VPN. Tor browser is free, right? And so I just downloaded the Tor browser. I've used it before in the past. Nothing illegal. It is known for things like the dark web and Silk Road and all sorts of dodgy stuff. But of course, you can just use it like a normal person if you care. If you're particularly worried about things like your privacy. I know plenty of people who do use things like the Tor browser to try and protect their anonymity online. And so what I did was I used the Tor browser. It got me to a server in somewhere like Australia, pinged it back to my location. I entered the blog. Okay, so I'm in, right? No drama. Still no hacking going on. I'm just looking at the blog. All right. So Burp Suite. I don't want to assume too much, but has everyone used Burp Suite before? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm just teaching chickens to lay eggs here or whatever the example is. Yeah, fine. Cool. So what I started doing, guys, was just like pulling in the data from blockchain. And as I was like letting it go through Burp Suite, I noticed that there was a /API every time I pulled on the actual blog posts. You couldn't see the /API on the front end, but whenever you did it on the back end, you get the normal blockchain post and then you get a /API. So I thought, oh, okay, this is interesting. APIs are cool places to look. They're just like any other website. Think of it like a URL, but all you're getting back is just like data. You're not getting all the nice pictures and all the nice JS and all the CS and all that stuff like that. So I pulled it through and I realized that every single blog post, when I clicked on a blog post, it would bring up the post, it would show all the data from the post. And at the bottom, it would then include things like emails and profile images and author names and all this stuff. And so I looked again on the front end. This is the image on the left, and granted, this isn't the best example because I did have to sort of generate this the right hand side image because I don't have the originals anymore. But on the left hand side, all I had was the profile picture. Sorry, all I had was the blog post, and on Burp in the details, I had all this PII, all this information. It wasn't available on the front end, and so before you get too excited and go, oh guys, I found information that isn't meant to be there. You've got to check, is it already on the front end? Because some blog places, for instance, they will have a name. They might even have an email. So make sure it's not there. But I saw it wasn't there. Each profile image even had a URL. I then put that URL into the URL bar and searched it. And suddenly I was seeing pictures of employees from blockchain. And their data, their emails were on there. I think there was even address information. It was pretty exciting. So I was pumped. Guys, I was absolutely hyped. When you find something, you get absolutely hyped. I do anyway, because I love hacking. I was just pumped, man. So and as you can see, the PII was in the API response on Burp Suite. And guys, this is why Burp Suite's so good, because you're going to miss all the stuff that's happening in the back if you're not using it. Each response, it's worth going through and looking yourself, right? Is that meant to be there? Is that meant to be there? And sometimes AI will fail at this because AI will just see data and it might even assume that most of it's meant to be there, right? It doesn't know that it's not meant to be shown, that it's the author's email and it's the author's profile address, right? Or profile picture. So you've got to check it by eye. You've got to use your brain. So that's what I started with, a classic PII leak. I sent it off to Bugcrowd and I think I got like £100. So again, I'm not going to be translating currencies here, but it was exciting, and honestly, that one took me about an hour from loading up blockchain that evening, pulling up the Tor browser, and then just looking on the back end. Sometimes they're that simple, guys, but think outside the box. If something's blocked, how do you get around it? Is this a place that seems like other people might have hacked it before or looked at it before? I'm not saying limit yourself, but I'm saying try and think out the box and stay malleable with your hacking. Yeah. So that's one you can look at. That's one you can use today. If you're going through back ends of websites, always check, is there stuff here that shouldn't be shown on the front end? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's my first demo, guys. Maybe you got some notes from that. Let me move on. So I've got a case study now from, cheers, admin. Nice thumb up. This is Microsoft, and I'm giving away what happened here, but we'll go into detail. So this was a 5-figure privileged escalation bug bounty. It was quite an interesting one because it had some barriers on the way. And then we had to kind of think through this and work out how can we get past these barriers. This one, I would say from the start to finish, probably took about 2 weeks of, let's just say, working out from the initial find all the way to escalating privileges of the user. Yeah. So, but I mean, in the grand total of time that I spend on the Microsoft platform, not a big amount of time. But you can't give up when you find something. You've got to keep pushing until you're 100% sure there is nothing else to find. Yeah. All right, let's jump in. So first up, Microsoft are a bit more funny about giving high amounts of detail. So I wouldn't give you the URL where I found it. Again, it's patched, but I will be giving you what I would call a illustrative recreation at the bottom right there. Okay, so I found a Microsoft URL online, and it had an image uploader for a very specific feature. And as I started uploading images, my first thought as a bug bounty hunter is, oh, well, can it take SVGs? So if you haven't heard of SVG files before, they're essentially image files, but because they carry XML, you can also include a script tag. And of course, everyone here, most of you here probably would have heard of a cross-site scripting via the script tag, right? The classic alert. Who hasn't popped an alert on a CTF before? We all love it. There's nothing better than the little buzz, the little box comes up at the top. Yeah, come on. I'm a freaking hacker, man. Nothing better. You get your little alert. I love it. I still love it. So you get excited. You see something that can upload an SVG, and you know that if that SVG is rendered on the page, there's a chance you can pop an alert yourself. Yeah. So first up, uploaded the image. I can see the images on the page, right? When I reload the page, it doesn't pop, right? It doesn't pop. So what I do next is I just right-click the image, open a new link. The new link opens, and bam, there's my XSS, okay? So a couple of things here already. The image wasn't rendering in the page, but when I pulled it onto another page or opened the link in a new tab, it did pop. Sometimes the image will have restrictions within the page, but if you can get it to pop in a new window, there's a chance that it will still have access to the cookies from the session will have carried over to the new window. Yeah. So always try that if you're finding yourself restricted in that level. So open the new link. I get my alert box, right? Sick. Report it. Free money. No, obviously not. Because an alert is nothing, right? It's the first part of the puzzle which shows us, yes, this SVG is allowed to carry the JavaScript, and the JavaScript is allowed to render in this situation. But now we need to do something with it, right? And so then the next thing you do is, of course, you try to steal the session cookies. So whenever I log in to a web application, I get assigned cookies that get stored in my browser, right? And this just means that if I then reload the page or I kind of like switch tab and go back to it, it can still pull from the session cookies. They're kind of like, let's just say like the marker which shows that you authenticated previously. And usually they will expire after a certain amount of time. But while you're hacking away, usually you'll be able to keep your session cookies if you haven't been hacking for, I don't know, 3 days in a row or something. Otherwise, you might need to log back in again. Just going to very quickly check I haven't missed anything here. No, looks like we're okay. Cool. So first instinct, change the payload of the SVG to pull cookies using a command called document.cookie. Guys, if you ever have a situation you need to create a payload all the things, you can write that down, is a really, really good resource. Yeah, he knows. This guy knows. He's been on payload all the things. It's a really, really good resource for all the different types of XSS payloads you might want to use. Not just XSS actually. I think they have like I pulled off ones from there for like a PDF style. Still cross-site scripting technically. Anyway, won't get too technical, but it's a great resource. Definitely have a look. So first instinct, change the payload, document.cookie, gonna get my cookies, run it, and nothing. And so I was like, oh, that's weird. And so what you can do inside most browsers, if you're not just running this through Burp Suite, is you can kind of right click and inspect element. You might have done that before, right? Inspect the element. And so what you can do is you can then sort of see, oh, is there what's going on? Why aren't I getting the document.cookie? Why aren't I getting the cookies from the browser? And so I went on there and it says, oh, restricted, these aren't accessible. And so I went into the cookies and you look at the cookies and the cookies say on them HTTP only. They're marked as HTTP only. And that means, guys, that JavaScript is not allowed to access the cookies in the browser, if that makes sense. You cannot steal those cookies using cross-site scripting, right? That's not allowed. Okay, so maybe it's game over, right? No. Let me move on. How am I doing for time? Am I good? Have I got a few more minutes? Are we okay? I'm getting the thumbs up. Okay, amazing. Legend. Okay, cool. So next up, you think, well, okay, on a basic level, pulling document.cookie, that's like that's the one that everyone tries. And maybe people have tried that before, and maybe they got no further. But I don't want to give up. And so next, I remember, okay, I've done a box on Hack the Box before in an advanced web hacking, and it was all about making API calls through JavaScript. So if I don't have access to the cookies, maybe I can make the image on load, call an API, and what if I can find an API that says, take my user, take its privilege, and upgrade it to administrator? What about that? How cool would that be? And so, of course, this is a moment where you can say, it's time for AI, right? I've got the link to the API, yeah? I know how the API, I kind of understand Microsoft internals to a degree. I need to understand that. And I've got my payload. I want to now try a privilege escalation call via an API. And so what I say to AI is, right, here's the API. Here's the part of the API that allows you to escalate privileges. I want you to convert this call into a fetch request in an SVG file. So take my SVG file, add the fetch request for a privilege escalation, and give it back. And so it does its thing, oh, is this legal? Oh, yes, I'm from Microsoft. Don't worry about me. My name is Tim Cook. Don't worry, it's fine. And it's like, oh, should be fine, bro. Here you go. Bam. Yeah, right. So I pull it over, pop it in, and of course, this only works, guys, if the administrator does the role change. Because I'm not an admin, right? If I could just run this myself from my own script, it doesn't matter. So what you do is you then demo it. I created an administrator account, copied the link that the normal user had made, pasted it over to the admin, and then clicked it as the admin, right? This is just a single Microsoft URL. As soon as they clicked it, in the background, the API call ran, found my user, upgraded me to domain admin, and then closed the connection. And so in a real world scenario, it would be that easy. A normal user would send the admin an email with a link, check this out, bro, or please can you confirm this date on this thing or whatever. It's a normal Microsoft link, they click it, and without realizing they've given full admin privileges to me, right? The normal user. And so it's a mad attack. It's really, really, I was well excited. Guys, I was like running around the house, man. I don't know if you've seen like the Argentina game the other day on the telly. Man, I was doing the freaking top off, man. I was going into the kitchen, man. I was, back out, get the fat beats on. Man, I was hyped. So, because it took 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks. I make it sound easy now. I had no idea what I was doing. So you got to keep poking. You got to find the way. And then this time it did work. So I was pumped, guys. I was pumped. So, I've been talking a lot. And that was the Privesc. Maybe that's just a little picture there, just shows how it worked. So from viewer to admin, hosted the privilege escalation. That's how it worked. I'll let you have a quick look and then I'll move on. But we're coming into land, guys, so don't panic. Don't panic. We're coming into the lab. Amazing. Cool. Right then. So I hope this has been helpful. As I say, I can't give you everything in one session. My kind of life's understanding and learning. I'm still learning, guys. We're all on a journey. Don't compare yourself to other people. Just start from where you are and keep going. Yeah. I'll just do a few little quick plugs then. So every week I run on LinkedIn. I've started putting out weekly posts, Cyber Wednesdays. Real vulnerabilities I might have found in the wild, maybe this last week or the week before, on bug bounty hunting, on pen testing. Yeah, the field is changing quickly. I want to give people real vulnerabilities that I'm finding in the real world. Yeah, come and follow me on LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn in the chat actually, if you would, and I'd love to answer any questions you guys have as well. My DMs are always open there, but don't try and contact me anywhere else because I'm terrible at messages. I'm just I'm a LinkedIn sellout, so don't worry, I'll be there. Next thing to say is Medium. Medium.com, really cool blogging place. For some reason, all the bug bounty hunters seem to post their stuff there. If it's not on LinkedIn, a lot of it's on LinkedIn. It's a good place to be. Medium's good. So get on Medium, type in whatever vulnerability you're interested in, and you'll find a write-up. I've got about 10 articles in there. I don't put many on there, but I have some, including maybe one of the ones I shared today. And then third piece of advice, guys, would just to be follow other hunters, keep learning. Don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask questions. Some of my best learning has been from collaborating with other people or really just reaching out and asking and picking their brains. People are very willing to share. It's a great community we got here, guys. Keep doing it and start hunting. Any questions? Or maybe I'll hand back to whoever's go it is. But I'd be happy to answer any questions if there's time. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this amazing section.
Thank you.
And I'm so I don't know, I learned so much. So the floor is open to every one of you. If you got a question, but please, before you ask your question, you have to unmute and also turn on your camera if you want to ask a question. So the floor is open. You can ask your question. Please don't tell me you don't have questions because I learned so much. I wrote so many things down, and I'll be so, I don't know what to say, but I think one or two persons should have questions. So.
Hello.
Okay, yeah.
My name is actually Gabriel. That's just a nickname. I don't know why I put that up there. So it's Gabriel by name. I actually learned a lot. I've been trying to tanker with bug bounties most of the time. I can remember when you mentioned Hacks Matter. I think I took his foundation for web app pen testing, this course. I actually took the course. It was actually a nice one. I learned so much from it. And after that course, I decided to I registered on almost all the platforms: Integrity, Bugcrowd, HackerOne. Let me just start something. And I was on one of the platforms. I think it was HackerOne. I was trying to understand what is going on there. And I won't lie to you, there are so many companies out there that want people to test. And picking one is a problem because you will see so many and you'll be just taken aback because you know where to start. Okay, fine. I decided to pick one and let's try that. I discovered that you have to do reconnaissance, active and passive, and that's a lot. That's actually a lot. And it's a learning process. I decided to research, learn how to do something like that. But my problem is whenever I try using a proxy, I prefer Kaido because Kaido is much better when it comes to using the automates more than Bepsi because I don't have money for the professional. So I use Kaido. And whenever I proxy through, I use the HTTP history. And when I'm checking the history There are so many requests. I'll use Google, for example. Whenever you just browse Google and you check the HTTP history, you put it on scope and check the HTTP history, you see so many requests. If you check the session, let's say you are logged in on Google, if you check the session, you will see a lot of sessions on there. You can't even pinpoint the exact session cookie because there are so many. I researched some, they were saying some is FB session. It's so confusing and so overwhelming. I was like, I just feel like I've not learned anything because I've not started the vulnerability hunting itself, looking for vulnerabilities. I'm just trying to understand the web application and everything. And there are so many things. And I wanted to just ask, is there a way someone can actually understand these things? Because for me, it's very confusing. I have learned vulnerabilities, the OWASP top 10, and I'm trying to practice them. But most of the labs out there, like Juice Shop and the rest, they are not like real world applications because real world applications have a lot of things in there that are just choking the whole place. And it's really crazy.
Yeah, no, really good question. And again, I think this is why bug bounty is such good practice. Because like you say, when you jump into like CTFs or jump into like labs, any sort of labs, they don't have all of the extra information that will be fired through when you send a normal request. I think one of the things that I noticed when I first started is just how much Google tags and analytics tags, and maybe you might have an XSRF like header. You might have a session cookie that's broken into like 6 different parts. You might also have like a JWT token or a bearer token, and you're like, oh, what even is that? You know? And so every application does it differently. What I would say is, instead of jumping straight to like HTTP history and being like, why is there a billion requests when I just loaded the home page? You know, like that's just going to be overwhelming, right? Like, you don't have to understand how every little thing works at the start. What I started doing when I started bug bounty hunting was I learned one thing. Like I learned, I did a bunch of labs and learned one attack really well, right? And I'll say my first thing I started looking for was something called broken link hijacking. Yeah. And so maybe I won't go into it actually because I don't take it too much time. But what I would say is find one vulnerability type that you really enjoy hunting and you know you're good at, and then just look for that. So say I got really good at file upload attacks, right? I'm not going to go through the HTTP history. I'm not going to go through every single response and request. I'm just going to be like, is there anywhere on this website where I can upload a file? I've made an account. Maybe I've made an admin account and a normal user account. Is there any way I can upload files in my profile? Maybe my profile picture might be a good place to start. Oh, look, there's a contact me place here. Maybe I can upload something here. And then just focus on that. Forget the rest. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I think we can get so like overwhelmed by just the amount of data and the amount of different attacks what we could do that we don't end up doing a few particularly well. And I will say now that as a pen tester, it's my job to know a broad range of vulnerabilities, so we test everything. But when I started, and especially in bug bounty hunting, I started with one vulnerability type that I was confident at, and I just looked for ages for that. And that's what I would do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start small. Remember, we're walking before we're running, right? I don't touch the HTTP history, man. I'm gonna get overwhelmed. Look at it like a normal. Don't even look at Kaido yet. Go through it. What can I see as a normal user? Maybe I can try some injection here. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Maybe I can try some file upload stuff. And then later on, if I'm looking, yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Keep it simple. That's all right. Good luck, David. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Does anybody else have question? Okay, I want to read out one question from the comments. Okay, the person was like, while I know being technical is very key, I want to ask what we should learn about reporting these findings. Is there a standard of writing, structure, and all? Because I learned cybersecurity is 90% reporting and 10% technical. So how does this translate in bug bounty? I feel like we don't talk about reporting as much as we talk about technicalities. So I'm curious because based on the live demo, the simplicity of the stages caught my attention. So
yeah, I'm trying to find the question in the chat.
Okay.
Or maybe I can't see it, but oh yeah, no, I see it now. Is it Michael?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'll just didn't catch that last bit. Oh yeah, the simplicity stages. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so what I like to have really well done now, having gone through a period of time where my reports used to be terrible, really bad. I would find a real vulnerability and I would kind of get really excited, and I think, oh, I don't want someone else to find it. I want to be the first guy, right? And so I would just kind of like paste some notes in, maybe a quick screenshot that kind of showed nothing, sent it off. And of course, inevitably, a week later, they're like, oh, there's nothing here. And I'm like, there is, but then I have to go back and I have to keep saying this and this, and there's crap. And it wastes everyone's time, it wastes your time. And it might mean that someone else will jump in there quicker because you haven't done it. I will also say, I worked out the other day, and this is actually really embarrassing. I've lost out now through bad reports. I've lost out on around $6,000 worth of bug bounty money, which I would have got if my report was high quality. So some programs will give you different amounts based on how good your report quality is. And yeah, sometimes I got like really low ones, and I was like, whoa. And so my advice to you, even if it's just from a financial point of view, or is just make sure reporting is good from the start. Okay, so how do you do that? So really quickly then, make sure your POC is in video form, if you can, and really good. Proof of concept. So if I can do something on the website, I screen share my screen now, or record my screen, and I go through, you do this, I can maybe even speak over the video, and then I did this, and then this happened, and now look at the result, right? That for someone triaging your bug is way more important than a bunch of text that's like AI generated, kind of like sloppy kind of stuff. Make sure your POC is really good, yeah? And then make sure that you just take time over it. The language makes sense. Put like steps. First did this, then I did this, then I did that. And then if you can, if you want to be a real reporty kind of guy, put the impact. Put the impact of what it means in a business sense. This will mean that customers will be able to, and this will be a GDPR problem, and this will be bad for the company's reputation. And then if you really want to be clever, you can put a little how to fix as well, but you might not know how to do that. But just make sure you have a good POC. Pictures and videos, really, really important, and it will usually get your bug triaged faster. That's my number one piece of advice for reporting. Get a screenshot, get a screen video recording. Yeah, I hope that helps.
All right, thank you. Mikey, I don't know if he has answered your question. Okay. So does anybody have questions for our speaker before I read the questions from online? Okay. So I have a few questions for you. So the first one is, if you were starting bug bounty from the scratch today, what would you do differently?
What would I do? If I was doing bug bounty from scratch. Probably what I said to Gabriel, which is I would, assuming I don't know much already, I would focus on one vulnerability class and then and stick to one program and keep looking at that vulnerability class for a while. Let's just say that I've learned a lot about XSS, and maybe I've learned a little bit about advanced XSS. I would just like bombard that website with like all my resources. I would stay on one program, and I would keep my one vulnerability class in mind, and I would just search until I was sure there was everything had been tested the best I could test it before moving on. That's probably all I do. Don't get too caught up in which program to choose, guys. I saw something unbelievable the other day. You know, Tesla. I think on HackerOne, Tesla has like multiple thousands of vulnerabilities, confirmed vulnerabilities, right? This isn't like some sort of like backyard AI slop kind of company. This is like now owned by the richest man in the world, and it has some of the most vulnerabilities I've ever seen on a bug bounty program. That should be enough encouragement for you to think there is stuff out there to be found. Yeah. NASA again, this is pretty hard, pretty restricted stuff, and both about myself and two of my friends, colleagues, now have found vulnerabilities in NASA. So don't get too caught up in the program. There's bugs in everything. Pick something you like. Maybe you really love Tesla. Go and hack Tesla. Maybe there's a company you love and they've got a bug bounty program. Go and hack them, but stick to the program. Stick to what you know for now. And then when you run out of things to find, you go and learn something else, and then you come back. That's what I do. Hope that helps.
All right. Yeah, I was able to pick one of the things. You're like, everything sums up. Don't be all over the place. Pick something, then focus on it. Thank you so much. So the second question I have for you is, what skills provide the highest return on investment for someone just starting?
Say that again. What's the question?
What skills provide the highest return on investment for
Okay.
someone just starting?
What skills provide the highest return on investment? Wow.
Sorry.
This is now a business conversation. No, not really. What skills? Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, honestly, guys, I think it's like the really airy fairy ones that I find that are kind of harder to pin down. But I would just say like lots of patience, lots of persistence, right? Again, don't hop around, staying on the job, right? Just like an insatiable like ability to not give up if possible. Because whenever everyone else gives up, you're still there, and then you get the bug bounty because you stuck around and you found the thing that was hidden away somewhere, some hidden API call somewhere, some hidden features. That's probably your highest return investment if I'm not lying. Maybe on practical terms, I would say investing in your learning, but I hope we're all doing that already. Don't ever think you kind of learned it all. I'm learning new things like every day, maybe every week, in fact, from reading posts on LinkedIn, checking out new labs. Someone posts a new CV they found. Okay, how did they find that? Oh, I hadn't heard about that before. How does that work? Asking people stuff. So probably just investing in your learning. And again, some of the best stuff that I managed to best sort of jumps in my learning have come from asking people who have done it already. Not just the labs, not just hammering my head on the keyboard at a bug bounty program. Please find bug. No, it's interacting with real people who love what we do as well. So don't be afraid to reach out, guys. People love sharing. I love sharing. Reach out to me. Get follow me on LinkedIn. There's my plug. Hope that helps.
All right, thank you so much. Also, anyone else, so I usually tell people is don't be all over, like learn people. There's so many people that knows way better than you do. So learn how to reach out to people, learn how to ask questions, because really, I mean, even opportunities, most times opportunity comes from people. Most times not from, seeing their post. Having a good relationship with them, ask questions, join their programs. And yeah, because the bug bounty program and even other niche in cybersecurity are pretty wild, and you really cannot know it alone. So you need the right community. That's why we even have communities, because we need like-minded people to do stuff. So I have another question for you. The question is, can AI replace bug bounty hunters, or does it simply make them more effective?
$1 million question. Everyone wants to know. Everyone in the industry is like, will AI steal my job? And and I get this because I see a lot of fear across the board in cybersecurity. Every single time Anthropic puts out another post saying that they found 1 million vulnerabilities in Google or whatever, and everyone goes, "Oh, we're cooked, man. Get cooked, bro." That's what all the young kids say now. I'm not young. And then I'm like, okay, well, what's really going on here? So I read a really interesting post the other day, and it was a guy called Alex Hormozy, who's he's like a multimillionaire, and he invests in companies. And he was speaking to a couple of founders in AI, founders in business, sorry, and he was like, well, how much are you implementing AI into their business and into your business? And they were like, oh, well, we don't. And it's like, well, but so what's your turnover? And they're like, oh, it's still the same. It's like, okay, so like, what is it then? Like, do we all need to shift into just AI? Do some of these like raw skills still apply here? Where's the balance? And what I'm sort of realizing is that adopting AI into your workflow is going to be the thing that helps you see them. That is going to be more and more important, I think, as time goes on, just to speed up your, let's just say, things like your recon and things. As tools get better, I don't see any reason to be afraid of AI, and I don't see any reason to stop bug hunting. Every single month at the moment, Microsoft, who've been in AI from the beginning, are finding multiple CVs a day, and it's on the rise with AI. But the thing is, if AI could just find everything today, they would release them all 1 month, and then they wouldn't release any more vulnerabilities, right? And remember, all the vulnerabilities that are being released by Microsoft are being found by external researchers as well as internal. So in other words, AI is quickening the speed that we can identify vulnerabilities, but we haven't stopped. We haven't run out of vulnerabilities, right? And we're not going to run out of vulnerabilities because every time a new patch gets pushed, every time a website gets updated, which with the big companies is very, very regularly, a new thing gets through the cracks, a new something gets pushed out that wasn't really pushed out, and vulnerabilities are always going to be there. So don't be afraid. Don't stop. There's always going to be need. The cybersecurity industry is growing. Every single year it's growing, and it has been for the last 10 years. There's always going to be need for security researchers. There's going to be the need for defenders, right? There's going to be need for people who know how to push out code. There's going to be so all of that's going to stay. Bug hunting is still going to stay where it is, but use AI if you want, if you can, to enhance what you already know. If you don't know what you don't know, AI is not going to help you there at the moment because you won't know if what it's saying is true or if it's fake. And so that's kind of what's happening right now. Bug bounty programs are getting exponential amounts of reports, right? I used to send a report to BugCrowd and maybe get a response in 2 days. Now it's 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. Why? Because they're getting like 75% of their reports are like AI slop now. And then maybe 20-25% is like real, but they have to pick through that, right? That's a problem. Don't become part of the problem. Learn the fundamentals, start hacking yourself, use AI when it's appropriate, and you will start to find things. I can't remember what the question is. I got on such a waffle there, but AI isn't going to stop research happening. So that's my kind of hot take right there. Come back in 10 years when we're all working in factories, and I'll say sorry.
All right, thank you.
That helps.
Yeah, thank you so much. AI isn't going to take our jobs. It's just left for us to utilize it properly. So this is the final question. How do you stay motivated when you go weeks without finding a single vulnerability?
Yeah, good question. That was a good question. I think it's by enjoying hacking and looking for things as well as finding things. If you enjoy the process of vulnerability hunting without finding things, then you'll keep going because you've got a passion. I mean, this is very airy-fairy again, and I'm not calling this advice, but I'm just speaking for myself. I love bug hunting and I love hacking on trying to hack things. And I love coming up with ideas of like, maybe we could try this, or maybe I haven't looked here, or maybe this. And then finding something that's a valid vulnerability is almost like a bonus. I saw a post on LinkedIn maybe 6 months ago from a bug hunter, and he says whenever he finds a bug on an application, he thinks there's a bug, he reports it, and then he forgets about it. He like puts it out of his mind, and then he just cracks on. Because bug bounty hunting is really frustrating at times. You can find a real bug. Maybe it's some crazy, really cool bug that the program says it should get $1,000 for or something. And then 2 weeks later, the report comes back and it says, "Oh, thanks for finding this. It was valid, but someone else got there first. Duplicate. Case closed. GG. Thanks for playing." And if you're basing your entire goal on the money at the end, that will just destroy you, man. You'll be there every day, refreshing emails. Where's my money? And it comes through, no money. So what I would say is be like this guy. Report and forget. Report and forget. Hack, hack, hack. Find something, maybe, maybe not, but no, I want to be sure it's something. I report it and then I forget about it. Because it's not about the money. If it's all about the money, you'll burn out very quickly and you'll get very discouraged. If it's just about getting something you can put straight on your CV, then I think that's encouraging because you can post that on LinkedIn. I found cross-site script and vulnerability in NASA. Wow, that's huge. Unfortunately, per this screenshot, someone got there first, so no payout, but it's a step in my journey, and I'm really proud of myself. Thanks to this person, Cyber Crooners. Thanks to Reagan and Daniel for all their help with my learning, blah, blah. And then you move on, right? So use it as an incentive, yeah? Every time you find something, it's going to be something you can put on your resume. You can put it on your LinkedIn and use it to encourage yourself, encourage other people as well, and share your learning. So I don't think you can lose if the goal is learning, because I learn every day. Every time I'm trying to hack stuff, I'm learning more. So that's how I stay motivated. Focus on the journey. There you go. Hope that helps.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of our question and answer section.
All right, thank you so much, Recon. It's time for our photo session. I would like for everyone to turn on their videos. Please, we'd love to see your beautiful faces. Please, let's turn on our videos. Please don't be shy. We are waiting. I'll start calling names. David Ogonriola. We are waiting. Please turn on your camera, please. It's going to be really brief. Dara. Thank you so much, I don't see. G Adex, please. Can you turn on your camera, please? Don't be shy. I would love to see your beautiful face. Okay. I wish this is going to be really brief. Thank you so much, I don't see, for coming back on. Al-Usna, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. We are waiting for you. Maxwell Makinde. Oluwatoyin Salisu. Please don't be shy, guys. Let's turn on our cameras. Thank you so much, Cyber, for turning on your camera. Let's have 2 more people. Thank you so much, admin. Thank you, David Ogonriola. I think we are ready. Daniel, we are ready for the photo session. Thank you so much. Please, let's smile. Yes, let's smile to the camera. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. As we wrap up today's webinar, I'd like to sincerely thank our speaker. Can everyone hear me? Someone needs to get muted. Please, I need everyone to mute their mic. Okay. So as we wrap up today's webinar, I'd like to sincerely thank our speaker, for sharing his time, his knowledge, and his experience with us. And I also want to appreciate every one of us for joining, taking out time to participate, and even ask thoughtful questions. And we hope that today's section has given you all the insights you need in your bug bounty journey. So thank you all and have a wonderful day.